Hey guys, it's History Behind the Warrior, and welcome to another God of War video. Now today, we will be turning our sights back to the Norse pantheon of gods, and talking about the bloody bastard of the Asgardian pantheon, the thunderer and wielder of the mighty Mjornir, Thor Odinson. Today, we will be exploring the god's bloody warpath across the 9 realms, and who has fallen before his mighty hammer. We have heard so incredibly much about Thor in the 2018 game that it's actually pretty understandable if we kind of end up forgetting the amount of devastation and chaos he has created across the 9 realms. So, today we will be exploring his kill count in the God of War universe, and touch on those that have fallen before his might. But before we do so, as always guys, I would super appreciate it if we could get this video to about 500 likes. It's a great way of supporting this channel and also does help give this video that extra kick right out of the gate. Plus, if you like what we do here and wish to see more, please don't forget to subscribe, as well as tick that bell to stay up to date with everything we do here, as the history of Hercules will finally be coming out this week. So, without any further ado, let's begin, shall we? Now, to really start off this kill count, we must go on record and talk about Thor's apparent first victim, the giantess Fjorgen, his mother. Yes, for those of you who don't know, Thor in this universe is half giant, much like Atreus. But unlike the halfling, Thor's thirst for blood and savagery really has no bounds, even against those he shares the same blood with. Whilst it hasn't been fully explored, it is known that one day, the great love of Odin just mysteriously disappeared, sending the Allfather into a deep depression. But what the Raven King didn't know is that behind his back, Thor had beaten his mother to death, as there are in fact 2 lore markers that reference her fall to the hands of her son. The first says, "Where nevermore the thunder may find her," and the second says, "For her gift of life, her life was claimed." So, going forth, I hope this is a bit of a tone setter for all of you to just understand how ruthless this warmonger is. Now, our next victim is the stone giant Ragnarok. This collection of stones was a kind but very dim individual amongst the Jotuns, being unique in the sense that unlike his brothers and sisters, he was literally composed of rocks. He had no heart or mind. And because of this, he was seen by everyone as a simpleton, a large one at that, but one with the innocence of a child. Because of this, Mjornir would actually be invited to the halls of Asgard by Odin himself, not to plan his execution, but instead Odin treated him as a jester of sorts. Being so mindless, he didn't really understand the situation between the Aesir and the giants. And whilst the warriors of Asgard were spiteful towards the giants, Odin saw no harm in him, keeping him around like a pet to raise the spirits of the warriors of Asgard. Thor, on the other hand, did not find humor or amusement in the antics of Mjornir's innocence, and after having grown tired of his pestering, in one swift blow, the giant's skull would be crushed by Mjolnir. So, the giant was killed. But not before he could have the last laugh, as his huge and heavy body would topple atop the Odinson, pinning him down and leaving him breathless. Thor could have easily died here, if it were not for his very young son Magni having lifted the body up. Now, on to our next giant. We have Starkor the Mighty, a Jotun so fearsomely strong that even Thor was wary of the threat he possessed. Having 8 arms and the talent to use them, even Odin feared of what he may become if the Jotuns ever attacked. Because of this, Odin spread lies throughout the land, concocting a plan that made Starkor look like a bloodthirsty tyrant. In an attempt to clear his name, the Jotun would lay down his arms so he could show he was not the monster he was painted as. But with his guard let down, Thor saw this as an opportunity to strike, and in one swift blow, Starkor the Mighty became Starkor the Dead, as he was more or less publicly executed in front of the Vanir gods and mortals of Midgard. Following this, we have the most infamous of Thor's crusades, his bloody massacre against the giants of Midgard. Whilst the finer details have not been discussed, we do know that after Odin was denied the Jotun's ability to see into the future, Thor would be sent to the realm of man and waged a bloody massacre against any unfortunate giants to have crossed his paths. The siege was so brutal that it forced the giants back to their home of Jotunheim, or a horrible end at the hands of Thor. A number is yet to be revealed, but it could easily be believed to be in the hundreds, if not so thousands. The only one to have stopped his onslaught was the world serpent Jormungandr, and even then, Thor wasn't defeated. The fight ended in a standstill, but by then, the land of Midgard was drenched in Mjornir blood. In the eyes of the Allfather and Thor, this was seen as a victory. And narratively, this was the tipping point for all of the 9 realms, as all relationships with Asgard were severed on that day, and the realms going forth would be left broken. After the fall of the Jotuns of Midgard, one huge giant by the name of Falmer, the infamous and great stonemason of the giants, would charge into the realm of Midgard looking for his child. Unfortunately, this colossal-sized being gained the attention of the Odinson, and in the dead of night, Mjornir would be brought crushing down on Falmer, impaling him on his own chisel, delivering a very quick death. But the aftermath of this murder is what also adds another layer of tragedy to his death. When his body collapsed on the ground, a gust of ice and frost burst forth from his body. This spread so far and wide that it engulfed all that live in the upper northern sector of Midgard. His demise, in fact, caused an entire village to freeze to death, killing all of the inhabitants that resided there, something that the Odinson took both pride and credit for doing. Now, our next Jotun to cover is definitely one of the more infamous tales of Thor, as it is loosely based off its Norse mythological counterpart, and that is the tale of Thrym. In this story, Mjolnir is stolen by the giant king Thrym, and is kept in the realm of Jotunheim. Knowing how strong the hammer is, and how much it means to Thor, the giant proposes an offer. He would return the mighty hammer in exchange for Freya's hand in marriage. Now, of course, Thor wasn't going to follow through on anything, but to get his hammer back, he needed to infiltrate the realm, but couldn't do this in the way he was. He needed to do it in a disguise. Now, unlike Norse mythology, where he did actually dress up in a wedding dress and veil to conceal his identity, in the God of War universe, Freya cast a spell over him, giving him the appearance of the Vanir goddess. Once he enters the realm of Jotunheim, Thor quickly reveals his identity and wages a horrific assault against Mjolnir. He beats Thrym to death with his hammer, and then turns his sights to all that stood at his table. None stood a chance, as the demigod quite literally ripped his way through the giants. It is unknown how many fell on this day, as Thor was looking to set up a checkpoint in Jotunheim, but this massacre was so violent that it even turned Freya's stomach, and in disgust, she would teleport Thor back home, as she felt like she had played a hand in this, with her image being used to start the slaughter. Our next giant here, Odinson, was the husband of the giantess Groa. She was a very important figure amongst the Jotuns, being a sorceress and the knowledge keeper of the giants. Understandably, because of this, she was held up in very high esteem, but sadly, one day, her husband, Odinson, would be drawn out by the thunderer Thor, as the warrior pleaded to his better nature and asked for his assistance in the realm of Vanaheim. Unfortunately, when he arrived here, this was all, of course, a plan concocted and set up by Thor. Odinson was killed, and his death would be reported to Groa as him being lost in the realm of Vanaheim. With her lover dead, she would desperately travel out in order to find his corpse. But much like the setup with Odinson, this was a way for Odin to kill the giantess, draining her of both her life as well as her knowledge. It is a absolutely brutal and heartbreaking execution of the two. Like father, like son, I suppose. Now onto our next story, and it takes us back to the realm of Midgard. Following the massacre and deaths of the Jotuns, the Aesir god would stumble across a family, one that was mourning the loss of their father. At first, Thor looks to comfort the two, as the wife had created a shrine of Thor to look over her dead husband. But it's here where things take a turn, and Thor takes advantage of their grief, demanding that they feed him and give him mead for his hard labors. The god would quickly run the family dry, and once they were out of resources, Thor, in a drunken rage, would kill the wife and disappear into the darkness of night. Sadly, the only member left of this family to survive would be the son, and he would quickly succumb to his own despair, and finally his hunger as he died alone. So this marks Thor's last direct kill. Now, our final addition to this kill count is gonna be a bit of a cheat one, but I think it would at least be fair to mention him here, Modi. Shortly following his brother's death to the hands of Kratos and Atreus, Modi would retreat to the halls of Asgard, as he wished to bring down the full might and fury of the Aesir atop of Kratos. But once Thor learns of this news, all he sees is anger and disappointment, disgusted by Modi's cowardice and how he left his brother to die. Thor would strike and beat Modi to a bloody pulp before casting him away from his sights to the decrepit world of Midgard. Broken, dishonored, and shamed, Modi would be robbed of his opportunity to succeed his father, and was now seen as a stray in the eyes of the Aesir. Whilst it isn't Thor that kills him, the bloody and beaten Modi may as well have been stripped of his godhood, as he is killed by a mere boy with a dagger. This has been it for all of the recorded kills that we currently do have with Thor in the God of War universe. Unfortunately, we don't have a clear number that allows us to pinpoint just how many have fallen before him, as a lot goes on off screen. But the fact that Thor's actions in Midgard were so severe, it severed ties to all of the 9 realms and broke down the relationships that Tyr and Mimir had made, kind of gives you a rough idea of just how many Thor had slaughtered during that assault. But for now, this has been it for Who Has Thor Killed? I hope you enjoyed this fun deep dive and retrospective of the topic. Thor is a cruel and bloody bastard in the series, so sometimes we do forget those that have fallen before his hand. Who knows, with God of War Ragnarok around the corner, at least I bloody hope so, we may get an opportunity here to see a flashback of the devastation he caused firsthand. But for now, this has been it for me. So, as always, stay strong, stay well, and keep on fighting, as Ragnarok comes for us all. Take care everyone, see you soon.